The dream continued, and I was in an Australian city. So not my city, but another city here in Australia. Not one I think I've been to. It was a nice day outside. There was an orangey red plane that had a unique design, not like any plane that exists now. When we looked up, like me and just people randomly in the city, bystanders, when we looked up at the plane, underneath it, it had the outline and a special design and a word. And the word that was specially designed on the belly of the plane was, in block letters, flood. The plane was flying very low and slow. And then it looks like it was going to fly into a building. It went towards the entrance of a large skyscraper and then just purposely and in a very skilled maneuver, so it, very skillfully maneuvered its way to like the entrance of a skyscraper building, like the big glass doors, and then it pointed its nose up, the plane, it pointed its nose up and flew through the building, like up through the building. So I was outside across the street from where it was happening, and I immediately felt very in danger, and I ran for cover. There was no real cover, only buildings everywhere. So I ran kind of down towards a building and then behind like a garden kind of decoration, like an urban garden decoration. And I threw myself on the ground in case of an explosion or like anticipating an explosion. My ex-husband, Simon, was with our son, Leo, and he was still across the street from the building that the plane flew into. No explosion sounded, but I heard people gasping in disbelief and fear, and many were still gathered around just watching. I heard the plane flying up through the building, through each floor, and one by one, every time it went through a floor, you could hear smashing and banging and shattering glass as the plane continued to fly purposely through each floor, destroying every floor in this building inside out, one by one. In myself, I said, it's 9/11 all over again. I went into a building next to where I was staying because I was afraid to go back into my building. I felt like something would happen in my building where my apartment/hotel room was, because it was across from the building where the plane was flying through all the floors. People had started rushing in, and there was a big crowd and only 2 elevators. I went back for my son and later realized when I looked at him that I was holding a baby, and it was a white baby and his skin was really white. But I held him protectively and tenderly in front of me and waited outside the elevator with the remainder/remnant that missed or couldn't fit into the first elevator, the first 2 elevators that went up. So the second time around, I thought I'd have to fight to get a space in one of the elevators. But people were so kind, and it felt like no man or woman would board the elevator until I did, because they all kept saying, go ahead, or indicating with their body language that I had like priority of way. So because no one else rushed in, I was surprised. They wouldn't enter the elevator until I did. So I got in the elevator, but then I was confused, and I was confused for some reason about where I needed to be, because I didn't know if this building was even attached to my building at a higher level, and if I'd actually be able to get back into my place in the building next door or not. And I just felt really uncomfortable because I felt that the whole area was compromised. And in a building, there was nowhere to run. And I just thought, if terrorists come running up into the building that I'm going into, I can't escape. So I apologized to everyone. I said, I'm sorry, everyone. And I'm pretty sure I just got back out of the elevator, and I just had this resolution just to leave the city. And I was just still holding that baby. And that was the end of my dream.